Welcome to today's episode of Formula for Everyday with the Formula Law.
Hey, good evening. Today has been a wonderful day and I hope you had a wonderful day also. You're welcome to Formula for Everyday podcast. I am your host, Lawrence Nkwocha. Today we're going to be continuing with a book review we started a while back, and today we are going to be looking at chapter 5. The book is Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. So I will try my best as much as possible during the week to finish the entire book and place it on the podcast so we can just check the remaining chapters out. So I will be able to start a new book from next week. So today is chapter 5 and the title of chapter 5 is Starve the Doubt. Starve the Doubt. As I said earlier on, this book was written by Grant Cardone. He's an American businessman and a multi-millionaire, and we've been looking at it from last week. We've looked at chapter 1, 2, 3 and 4, and now today's chapter 5, which is Starve the Doubt. So what you should know is that you being all in, you always coming to give your best, you delivering everything you can is not the problem. You being obsessed about your ambitions, obsessed about your goals, what the problem is doubt. Doubt is usually the problem, and many people talk about how screwed up they are instead of actually looking at how good they are. You know, you keep talking about your faults. I'm not good at speaking, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, but a lot of people tend to not to look at their strengths. You see, the thing now is that whatever you amplify is what we actually dominate. If you amplify your weaknesses, they tend to dominate your mind, and if you amplify your strengths, they also tend to do the same. So talk more about your ambitions, your successes, and all the things you can do better. So keep concentrating upon your strengths. You need to leave your weakness out of it, because the more you start amplifying your weakness, that's the point where you begin to develop a whole lot of doubt and fear about what you want to accomplish. Don't focus on how broken you are, and also try hard not to make someone else feel broken. So as much as you try your best not to focus on your weaknesses, don't also make somebody else feel broken. You see, especially in this online space, a lot of people just show up and they make some kind of mindless comments, they make some kind of mindless contributions, not minding what the other person feels. You see, a lot of people actually are very conservative, but they just pick up that courage to come online and do something, and when they are rebuked or they are spoken to in a very harsh manner, it becomes it becomes an emotional attack. So let's be very guided about how we try to criticize people. Even when we do it, let's try our best to make it as constructive as possible, and also do it respectfully as well as tactfully, because you need to try your best as much as possible to make everybody you encounter feel that strength. Okay, let your brand actually bring in that emotion of strength to a person, not weakness, not discouragement. You don't fix problems with problems, you fix problems with possibilities of the future. According to Grant Cardone, he said he doesn't seek for a life balance, he seeks for a life. Now, he said he doesn't seek for this life-work balance as we know it. He just seeks for a life, because your life is supposed to be balanced throughout. So that's why earlier in the book, I mentioned that obsession is something that cuts across all part of your life, and it's not just about your finances. It's not just about the money you get. It's about every single thing that you do. The money matters because every single thing that you're doing is going to need a very serious funding, but it's not just about the money. It's about how you live your life entirely, how all your goals are going to contribute to the grand scheme of what your life's purpose will turn out to be. So it is due to lack of love and obsession that burnout comes to play. It's not just due to lack of vacation or lack of resting, but due to when you stop doing the things you love, when you stop doing the things that actually make you feel energetic, you become tired. You begin to burn out. Like, I can remember earlier this year, a few things happened that I encountered similar experience. I experienced like I was tired throughout the day. I slept for a very long time, like for a very, very long time. I can sleep almost 12 hours in a day, and that was very bad. And I knew that was due to the fact that I was not doing the kind of things that energize me. I had to endure and finish something that I started later on. So you need to try your best as much as possible. It's not just because of the lack of holiday. It is due to the fact that you have stopped doing the things you love. That's when the burnout comes in.
You are still listening to Formula for Every Day with the Formula Law. Stay tuned.
So, in as much as vacations are very important, while taking out your vacation, you should first of all check out if you can afford it. Then secondly, you should know what is too much. You don't need to make, according to him now, make too much white space on your calendar. You also need to ensure that as much as possible, you take your work every day, like as serious as you can. If you begin to lose energy, it's not good for your emotional health. So you look more tired if you are not doing what you are supposed to do. So don't feel sorry for yourself that you are working too hard. You shouldn't feel sorry for yourself. It's a price you are paying for your dreams. The question you should always ask yourself is, what can I do today to become more obsessed, more excited, more fanatical about what I love doing? You need to ask yourself, like, what else can I do? Begin to craft out new ways that you can feel that energy. Because if you are not having enough energy in order to be able to push through and carry on with your goals and your dreams, then you're going to experience burnout very soon. Happiness is very transient. It's something that you might feel happy 6 o'clock, like 6 p.m., and by 7 p.m. it's also possible that you might feel very, very depressed. Now, this could be due to several factors, hormonal change. It could be due to perhaps somebody you encountered on the way, or a call you got, or something. But a more sure way to keep your energy alive and to keep your fire burning is fulfillment. So once you've set out a routine on how you can constantly refuel your energy and move towards the attainment of your goal, it becomes an entire new paradigm of how you can work. Nobody knows what is inside of you. It's not just about being financially satisfied. Now, it doesn't end there. It goes beyond that, okay? So when you are clear on your purpose, you can't burn out. When you are clear about all the steps you're taking, so every action you're taking towards your purpose, you feel a greater drive to push forward because you're actually moving towards a destination. Now, the whole idea of success, as I see it, is that it's about the milestones you hit and the journey, the activities or the circumstances or the events that took place in the journey as you got to those milestones. So for a successful person, is from one milestone to another. There is no particular destination where you get to and you rest your hours, all right? So it's something like you go from one point of progress to a higher level of progress. So when you are clear on your purpose, you can't burn out. You are not a candle, and you are a spiritual being. You have been created by God and placed on the earth for a particular purpose. So whatever purpose you are pursuing, you should be able to do this with all your heart. You should be able to do this with all your strength. So some vacations can take more energy from you than the work you actually do. So many people that are successful don't see work as work. This is a very important point. So many people that are successful see work as fun. They see work as a daily routine. They see work as habits, okay? So if you check most of the successful people, they enjoy the work they do. I mean, the actors, the footballers, the sports people, okay? Name them. Like, they enjoy the work they do. And once you begin to see your work as a routine, a habit, a part of your life, it becomes far much easier, and it will be easier for you to maintain that level of obsession and push forward for your dreams until you actually begin to achieve them. So taking too much time off is going to derail you from your focus and your purpose. So when you begin to take too much time off, when you begin to take too many breaks, it's going to derail you from your focus and your purpose. It's going to actually bring in the doubts, because doubt creeps in when you are no longer focused on your purpose. That voice that suggests to you that you are wasting your time at the activity you are doing right now. Because the funny thing about both success and failure is that they both have this common factor of looking like a waste of time, okay? Because when you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It evidently looks as if you're wasting your time. And when you are pushing for success, you need to push with that level of consistency, and perhaps you don't get to see the results at that point, and it also feels like you're wasting your time. So you need to constantly stay on your goal. It's good to take breaks as much as you can, but ensure that the break you take is just enough. Don't take too many vacations that will eventually derail you from your goal. So you also need to ask yourself, when are you most happy? Personally, for me, I'm most happy when I'm producing something new. Whatever it is, in the area of my interest, in the area of my work, whatever it is, I conceive and I see it as a very helpful material or helpful content that I want to get out there into the world just to share with my audience. Then it makes me very happy about myself. It makes me very happy about the purpose I'm going to achieve in a very short while now. All right, so you don't need to compromise anything to be successful at what you do. You don't need to compromise anything. You can be everything that you set out to be. You don't need to choose between being a good father or being a rich businessman. You can be both a good father and a rich businessman. You can be successful and humble. You can be vulnerable yet strong. You can be disciplined, yes, disciplined to do exactly what you set in your mind to do. That's discipline to attain fulfillment, and you can still be relaxed. In fact, I like the way I've started forming a new character of wanting to pass my message with being calm and relaxed. You see, you don't need to force anything. You just relax, but you are still disciplined, okay? Then you can still be very honest and kind. You can be likable and still set boundaries. Yes, you have this high level of temperance. You know when it is enough. You are likable, but you know when to set boundaries so that a lot of people don't overstep your boundaries, okay? So once you have doubt about what you want to do, start being analytical about your plan. Don't get emotional. Just analyze what you want to do by writing it down. Once you write it down and begin to break it into the smallest step, because even if you want to go to the moon and you begin to break it to the smallest step, then okay, perhaps you want to go to the moon by maybe in the next 3 years. First of all, the first thing you need to say, okay, how do I want to go to the moon? Do I want to go to the moon as a rich person with enough money that I can pay for my trip to the moon? Or do I want to go to the moon as an astronaut? Or what is the means by which I'm going to go to the moon? So whatever it is you want to achieve, once you begin to break it down into small steps, okay, if you understand your why for going to the moon, then the next step is, okay, how can I actually get to the moon? Do I need to take a course? Do I need to develop a relationship perhaps with Elon Musk? How am I going to develop the relationship? Once you begin to break it down, no matter how big your ambitions, your dreams, your purposes, your goals seem, if you begin to break them down into achievable steps that are written down, then you see that writing is a very teleological activity. It tends to draw you towards what you've written. It tends to draw you towards purpose. Okay, so naysayers are more dangerous than haters, because some of these naysayers actually love you. They sincerely love you. They want the best for you, and that's why they are scared of how you are going about things. Only you know exactly what you want to achieve in life. Only you know why you want to achieve what you want to achieve. So only you can actually give yourself that drive that is required for you to achieve what you want to achieve. So in as much as naysayers will come, like the naysayers can be people that actually love you, your wife, your mother, your brother, your siblings, your very close friends. They are scared for you because they truly and sincerely care about you. Understand what and where these people are coming from. Understand their perspective. And once you understand their perspective, if you can, make them understand your perspective too. But if you can't, then the best thing you can do for yourself and for your dreams is to ignore what they tell you and move on with where you want to go. Okay, he made a very valid point. He said everybody will give you advice based on what they know. Everybody will give you an advice based on what they feel. when someone is actually giving you an advice, the person is literally talking to his or herself, perhaps your younger self or your older self, or perhaps yourself in the contemporary time. Some people just try to rationalize why they decide to settle for less. So you need to actually understand where these naysayers are coming from. No, it cannot be done. No, it's not possible. You are working too much. You are doing too much. You just understand. Some of them have this sincere heart of love for you. Then if you can, explain your perspective to them. But if you can't, the best thing you can do is to ignore whatever they tell you and keep pushing for your dreams.
You are still listening to Formula for Every Day with the Formula Law. Stay tuned.
Take care of your health, because your health is a very, very important factor to you succeeding in your life's dreams. But you should also know that if you are on course, if you are towards your purpose, then I can assure you that burnout is not possible, because you are certainly not wax. So another very serious battle you're going to face is from the professional warriors, because the professional warriors have developed a brand around whatever it is that they feel to be experts on. You see that those professional gurus that come and tell you, okay, this is the way things are done and that is the way things are done. What I believe about life, I was studying James Cameron. He's a very, very phenomenal producer. He has produced a whole lot of very interesting blockbusters over the years. So what he was saying now is that once you know the rules of a particular art or science, perhaps be it the art of marketing or something, once you know the rules, then understand it and break it like an artist. The whole idea is to know how you can reform and bring in a very remarkable innovation into the system, perhaps something that has not been done before. I was reading something on Jonobidi's status a while back. I think it was last week. He said, if you are on a path and you look forward and you don't like what you're seeing on that path, and you look back and you still don't like what you're seeing, the best thing you can do at that point is to step off that path and create your own path. Okay, so that's the same thing that you should be able to do. Professionals will tell you what they think, but there are some things that only you know that if you continue like this, there is this instinct, there is this very deep conviction that you know that something good is going to come out from what you are doing. As I said, this is the very funny thing about being that's walking on the right path and actually walking on the wrong path. But what you need to do is that as much as possible, try to be sure of yourself, because once you stop being sure of yourself, then you've lost everything. Trust me, you've lost everything. You need to be very sure of yourself. Ensure that you don't give any place for doubt. So that once you are very convinced about what you are doing, and you're sure that what you are doing is going to take you to where you are, you understand all the rules of your industry and you know how to break them innovatively and creatively, then you move on, you break out from the norm and come with an innovation that is much more better than what is already existing. So if you don't trust what you know, you don't have anything. Maximize social media to push out what you love. Like your content, social media is an infinite space where you can place as much as you can. Yes, the probability of even getting noticed these days is in the frequency and how valuable. Okay, you need quantity almost as much as you need the quality. Okay, so if you know you have something very remarkable to say, you have a very interesting message to put out there, come on, you should maximize social media. According to him, social media is a miracle. Okay, like we are not like those in the 20th century now. They didn't have much of the internet, of course, until the late 20th century, but we are in an age where we can scale our brand, we can scale our message, we can scale our messages very, very fast and as quick as possible. So don't justify your averageness. Don't ever justify why you should be average. You can do better. Naysayers will try to stop you from being big because they are trying to justify why they are being small. So naysayers are going to tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't be big because they are trying to justify the reason why they are being small. And a very important point to know is that you shouldn't be among your own naysayers. Don't doubt yourself. Like, never begin to doubt yourself. Don't for once look at yourself and pity yourself for any reason. Yes, no excuses. I like once you read a book like No Excuses by Brian Tracy, it's going to open up your mind to more of the reasons why you shouldn't be giving yourself excuses to be average. Don't give yourself excuses to fail. There is an infinite amount of resources on the earth. There is an abundance of wealth. The sky has literally enough space for everybody to fly. Okay, so don't give yourself any reason why you should be average at the foot of the mountain. You should be at the apex. You should be at the top of whatever it is that you are doing. Okay, if you feel your time is too occupied, you can always slash out activities that are not productive and bring in more productive activities. You need to be a more hard master on yourself. Be disciplined and continue to do what you are doing. Do the hard things. That's how you get to last longer. It's called eustress, a good type of stress. Once you stress yourself in a good way to actually do what you love doing, you now find out that it becomes so much more easier. You are still doing the same thing, but it is almost like you are not doing anything. Okay, so this is a very, very important point that you should take note of. Haters are usually saying more about themselves than about the object of their hate. It's a very important point. If you don't have haters, you are not a threat to anyone. Haters look at you and they see everything that they should have been. So most times haters don't hate you for dislike. They hate you for the fact that they like you so much, but the envy is now clouding their judgment, and they have no other way to express it than to make hateful comments, to say hateful things about you. You know, like I've actually experienced a form of hate while I was still an undergraduate, and trust me, I'm talking from experience. A lot of people can hate on you because of the fact that you are doing far better than them. Yes, like they have no other way to express the fact that they want to be everything that you are, but they just have no other flow or any other form of expression than to just hate. They hate you, whatever it is that you do. Even as a friend will say, even if you kill yourself, they will say you didn't die well. Okay, so always take note that you have haters, especially if you are doing something right. Never attempt to tame your obsessions. You don't need approval or permission. I want you to know that God has given you all the approval and permission you need to execute what He has sent you to do on earth. So you need nobody's approval. You need nobody's permission. Success is the ultimate revenge against your haters, naysayers, and critics. And still coming back to the naysayers, I want you to know that these people can actually have sincere interest for you, but for you to be able to prove them wrong about their perceptions on what you are doing, the best way to do that is by succeeding at what you are doing. Okay, so as much as possible, don't tame your obsessions. Keep being obsessed about what you love. Ensure you are taking care of your health. Ensure that you are in very close and good relationship with God, who is your maker. Your spiritual health. Ensure that you are always checking your spiritual health to know that you are in good and you are aligned with God. And once you are pushing for your goals, you are very justified. God has justified you to fulfill your purpose on earth. So with this, I've come to the end of today's episode of Formula for Everyday podcast. So by the special grace of God, I'm going to do the remaining chapters of this book, just a few chapters left, and by the special grace of God, I'll be starting with a brand new book from next week. It's going to be an engaging book, and perhaps what I can be doing per week is to review one book so that we can go as fast as possible. So thank you very much for listening to today's edition. I remain your host, Lawrence Nkwocha, the Formula Law. So until I hear from you again, or perhaps should I say until you hear from me again, I would like you to drop your reviews, what you think, how the book reviews have been helping you so far. If this book is a book you would like to read, I would like you to send me a DM and I will send the ebook version to you. So thank you very much for listening today, and bye for now.
This podcast holds every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Thank you for listening to today's Roadside. Hope you learned something new. I would like you to join in on the next episode.